how important my personal values in the process to find out how I want to manage my time. So I had to realize that it's probably, that's the deepest so far for me, my values, my personal values. And if I'm aware of my personal values, then I'm able to find out what are my real goals in life based on my personal values. If I know what my goals are, then probably I will be able to find the right strategy around time, and then probably I will be able to find the right tools and techniques to manage my time. So that was the process I concluded from my experience. I am Péter Illés, business coach. With this podcast series, I will address leadership topics with my guests, how you can relate your personal values and goals to find the best solutions for leadership issues. This is the first podcast episode of the leadership coaching program and podcast. Today we are going to address time management from a kind of different perspective, using coaching techniques. It will be different because we'll not only address the well-known tools and techniques what you can use to manage your time, but we will go deeper on that and find out what intentions maybe you have, what values can be used to be able to find the best suitable time management tools. My guest today is Roula Haddad. She's a HR expert, manager, a corporate coach at a well-known world-leading pharmacy company, AbbVie. To let you relate a little bit more, let me give you an example of what you probably experience on your own. When I try to set up my day, I use a really simple tool to manage my tasks. And by the end of the day, when I get home and I spend some time with my family, sometimes I still wait for the kids to go to bed because I still have some tasks on my list for the day and what I want to accomplish. Probably also experienced that. And I really believe it's not only about the tool, but what's going on in the background. So this is what we're going to address with Roula today. Let me ask my first question, Roula. What's your particular definition of time, and how do you manage time?
Okay, thank you, Peter, first for the introduction, and I really love the topic, addressing time from a different angle. My definition of time as not as a person, not as a professional, I think time is an asset. So like any money that we have in the bank, it's money. However, the difference is that if we lose a minute, like, we can never recover it. So it's very, very important that we utilize this resource very mindfully.
Yeah, I also have a kind of definition which is really probably almost the same. Most of the time I say that time is the only capital what you cannot create. You can create money, you can create your connections and whatever you consider as a capital, but time is the only one what you are not really able to create. It goes on and it's really limited. So that's why it's probably pretty important how we use that. Do you have a favorite time management tool or technique what you use?
I use like the calendaring and everything, but I have shifted in my mindset in the recent years, so that of course I use calendar for logistical purposes, like remembering things and so on. But I am more and more trying to forget about the calendar in some very important moments in life and try to live the moment very mindfully, like from very simple things, like maybe those who are hearing us may be surprised. I never thought to time myself when eating, as an example. And I realized that sometimes we eat and forget what we ate because we are either running or talking on the phone or attending a webcast while eating. So this is kind of what I'm trying to shift my mind to when it comes to time. On top of which is just a tool to remember things, to make conscious effort to utilize this asset more mindfully.
Yeah. How do you help your clients? What's the first thing you are trying to discuss with your clients if you are talking about time management?
Yeah, that's a very good question. My clients often, when we are starting to discuss a general coaching topic, let's take well-being topic in general. So the first thing I hear is that they are struggling to do things that they want to do, and the first justification they give is what you hear often: because I don't have time. And that amazed me, like the amount of times I heard that, because I don't have time. What I try to do is to say, okay, if I give you time as a gift, like as a free gift, what would you do? And then things start appearing. I would do this, I would do that, I would do this, I would do that. And then, like, what is holding you back from doing this? And here I think where the serious reasons of why they do it is starting to appear. So the serious causes of why they are not doing what they do. And from there on, like, the discussion becomes deeper and deeper, in a sense that really it opens their awareness on what is holding them back and how they are utilizing their time. And we end up most of the time with very positive outcomes.
Yeah, it sounds really, really interesting. And yeah, this is what probably leads us where I would like to go with this topic, not to concentrate too much on the tool, but what's going on. And you said that you are, with your clients, you go deeper on that, just talking about specific tasks or tools. Can you give us a kind of example of how deep that conversation can go?
First, we try to look at why are they doing much, and it seems that it's a trend that people around us, young or not young, like they are always under this urgency of doing more. So there is a lot of doing and doing and doing, and there is little time that they just carve out to think of why they are doing what they are doing and what they are really doing. So in this context, when we try to look at the things from that angle, the picture becomes clearer. There are unconscious sometimes beliefs that I need to do more, that the society is asking me to do more, the company where I work is asking me to do more. Also, like, we spend a lot of time on social media, and we hear a lot, and we are disrupted all the time, and then eventually we do more. And it takes time really to just step back and think of the inner purpose, like the real purpose of a person in life. And when we go back to that real purpose, the picture becomes different, and clients start thinking, oh yes, I need to slow down and start filtering out what really matters, so that I am again, the authentic me, like what I want in life.
Yeah, I experienced the same also in my life actually, and I call it a kind of trap that the outside expectations drives us and drives leaders to do more, because as you said, the company requires that. And the trap here, according to my understanding, is that a leader tend to focus on the external expectations so much. They are really covering, as you said, what they really want to do. And the real trap here is that you are rewarded. You get probably a higher salary, your family is proud of you, but still there is something which is not 100% okay. So do you have any what kind of signs can you see in managers' life which tells you, or probably for the managers also the leaders, that something is not 100% okay?
Stress and borderline anxiety, that's number one symptom.
Yeah.
But also negativity, like anger, conflict popping out very quickly, letting things go because sometimes you hear that there is nothing we can do, we have to do this. And it's not true, like we can always do things differently. And I consolidated at some point what people are struggling with, even sleep issues, like people not able to have quality sleep time, food, like not able to really reflect on how healthy food can I do, dropping down is very basic things and saying that we don't have time to them, like going to the gym, having a walk. These are very basic symptoms, but all they tell that there is something wrong.
Yeah, I also experienced that. Let me share one story from my life. I was in that trap, and I said to myself that I'm okay, I'm doing it absolutely correctly, because I go home at around 5 p.m. and I just get in the office in the morning as normal. So it's perfect. And after a while, my younger kid came to me once and said, "Hey, Dad, don't work that much." And I was just surprised that, what? Don't work that much? I'm at home. What do you mean? And I took it seriously because of two reasons. One reason is obviously because it was my kid. The other reason was that he was around 4-year-old that time. And when a 4-year-old tells you something, it's either something really dull or something probably pretty important. And I took it really seriously. And I was thinking about that, thought, what's going on? And I had to realize, yes, I'm at home, but I still answering phone calls, and probably I write a couple of mails during the evening. And I'm just waiting for them to go to bed to accomplish a couple other stuff. And work is in my head all the time. And my kid realized that, obviously, and because they are so great on reflecting what we are doing. And it was a kind of sign to me that probably it's not 100% okay what I'm doing. What do you think about that?
Yes, I'm glad that you're bringing this story, because also, like with many, let's say, working moms, in my case, that I talked to, it's exactly the same story. And the weird thing is that they still feel guilty because they feel guilty because they are with their children but disrupted. And the funny thing is, when moms have a young baby, I ask them a question and they start laughing. I tell them, and when you are making your baby sleep, is he or she really able to sleep? Because I'm sure you start at some point saying, sleep, sleep, why aren't you sleep?
Right.
Because it's disruption is not is also carried in your mind, and the babies are so sensitive, like your child, that they feel, they have a very strong connect even if you are with them. But it's not about being there. It's about being there and having quality time and removing all the disruption and the distortions that happens to our thoughts. I also, like you, Peter, I think in our coaching journey, I found things in myself that I believed I could not do because I don't have time. I learned to bike, which is very basic, but I thought I can do, but also I don't have time to do, which is not true. I mean, it was just me thinking it is like this, but the moment I started doing the right reflection, time became available, not only to bike, but to bike and to study and to work and to travel and to have vacations. So my utilization of my own time drastically changed. And it was not about the amount of time is still the same, 24 hours per day.
Yeah. What made you to think about that shift and able to make the shift particularly?
The first word that you said, thinking. I was not thinking. I was just doing things and following the flow and doing that race that we are taken by every day. And I was lucky because I made conscious decisions to enroll in some lessons in coaching curriculum, and that brought to me the urgency to sit down and think. And when I started thinking, the picture changed completely.
Okay, what would you recommend a leader or manager? How can they review themselves, whether they are okay from that perspective or not? I'm asking it because, as I mentioned, as I felt in a trap earlier, I really believe that there are many leaders who really believe also that they are doing fine because they can accomplish projects, they move on the hierarchy ladder, they get nice salaries, and probably they say themselves also that I'm okay. What would you recommend to do them? How to start that type of thinking? What you mentioned.
I think also maybe you can share also your experience, Peter. I think spending time putting time, like this calendar is always used for everything else but self. So blocking time for self in a calendar or not in a calendar is the number one rule to do this shift in mindset and start seeing things from a different angle. That's very basic, but that's it. I don't think there is any magical solutions unless we just think and connect to ourselves and do the right reflections.
Yeah. What else does it take to come to a conclusion? So let's say that they try to put some time into calendar and find time to do that. What I'm reflecting it to that I use that tool actually in my life, and it was something like, okay, I have back-to-back meetings in the morning, and it looks like I will have 1 hour from 1 to 5 p.m. Okay, let's do that thinking from 1 to 2. And obviously it was a kind of difficult stuff because back-to-back meetings, making serious decisions, and then, it's 1 o'clock. Then I need to be really creative and try to think. And it was kind of difficult to me. Actually, it was it didn't happen at a single moment in my life. I just collected signs, and one sign was that I collected rewards. You know, those really nice piece of papers and with nice signatures and stamps on it, and saying that you were so great on this and that project, and I collected them like this. And okay, I got a lot. And there's another project, and it's okay, and I'm fine. And one time it happened to me that I was on a stage and celebrated as a huge, great manager in front of hundreds of people and they clapping and, oh, that's great. And I was asking to myself that, okay, and what's going to next morning? Does it mean any change? Or then what? And also I had to realize that it was a kind of trap also, that I believed that my family needs that. I support my family with that because I'm earning the money, and probably my kid is really proud of me and things like that. And I had an idea that this is the best what I can do for my family. And eventually I had to realize that probably it's not. I never asked them, obviously, that what they need from me. But probably it's a great question. This is what I found a great question to myself, that probably this is what I need to ask. If I want to support my family, let's ask them what they need from me. So probably these small steps and signs gave me some ideas how to change my approach to time and time management.
You were lucky, Peter, however, because it was like a good reflection moment. Someone told me recently, like they had gone through this journey, you know, as well. And I said, what was the trigger? And the trigger was physical. Like he said that in some of the meetings, he started having like palpitations and he was about to cry, and it was a very strong physical message that he was not understanding, and that is what has made him, you know, make this wake-up call and step back and think. And many others that I talk to, at least, like have sometimes physical symptoms, like a headache that is not going, or an ache in the body. So we are lucky if we are able to get to this stage where we do the right reflections without having physical symptoms. And here is where really we all hear about burnout and we think it doesn't exist, but it really exists, because people burn out and have very difficult symptoms. Weight gain is a symptom as well, because many, in the middle of too many things they are doing, they start eating without thinking, and they gain weight, and then their image is distorted, their self-image, they don't like it, and so on and so forth. So maybe to go back to, I mean, I don't know if there is an answer. Also, there is this part of the person's connect with themselves. I see some that still continue drifting and they don't make any effort to do any change. You agree, right?
Yes.
Around us, at least. But many others come and say, I need support. What can I do? And then the picture gets better. And to be honest, I also, one thing I believe in life, and I learned that if any person at some point, at no point actually, comes and says, I need to do something, maybe I need help, nothing will change. And many people that I like around me continue to dwell in the same circle without doing anything about it. Does it really need a trigger or not? Really, I don't know. Some consciously do it. Some others have to experience a symptom that gets them there. Some, like you know, in a moment of reflection, because you did a reflection, to try to get out and do something. And I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer to this.
Most probably there are no right and wrong answer, obviously. And yeah, what I'm thinking of, I learned a particular approach from a psychologist, actually, and he said something like, it's a really good sign if you are willing to talk to yourself. And I think it's pretty important, what you just said. This is how I translate reflection. Probably you need to ask yourself first. Is it okay what you are doing for yourself? What you are doing is really serves you, or you are serving something else?
Yeah, but does everyone ask themselves a question at a certain point in time?
Yeah. So yes, you're right. I don't know what triggers, but I really believe, and one of my first recommendation here is that, as you mentioned, stop for a while. And even if you say to yourself, "Oh, I don't have time to stop," yes, you should have some time to stop, and ask yourself at a certain point whether you really want to do it or not. What really drives you? Why are you doing it? One more trap I wanted to mention is around tools. I kind of believe that probably a right tool can help me, or a right technique or strategy around time will help me. So I attended a couple time management trainings, and I tried a lot of tools, and it was really attempting to use a really sophisticated tool, a nice one, colorful one, which gives warnings, and you can create workflows and processes to work on your task and stuff like that. And yeah, and most of the time they work. They work at a certain level. What I had to realize that they put me into a channel, and that channel and the process and the tool actually could hide and cover anything which is really important, because it made the task, let's say the work-related task, important, and even more important than it was or that it should be. So I ended up to not to use really sophisticated tools. Now what I use is a really simple tool. It's just a list of tasks. There is only a couple categories and notes to them, and that's it. I can see it on my phone and on my laptop, and that's it. No more tools. That is because it can hide the real values what we are going for.
It's true. I read somewhere like, why do we do meetings recently? Because we have the calendar and we can invite people to meetings. That also drives us to, just do these meetings. Okay. And we because we can invite as much as we can, we start adding people that don't necessarily have to attend a meeting. So that's spot on what you are saying, Peter. Like tools, we have tools. Sometimes they are useful, of course, and we can utilize them in a smart and efficient way. But some other times you use them in the wrong direction. Like it doesn't serve any purpose if I can do a virtual meeting every day to have 100 meetings per month and 100 people invited to my meetings. That doesn't help anyone to progress on anything. And I'm always thinking also that, do we really, when we pause and think, are we late, or does that help us reach faster where we want to reach? Because that's also a dilemma. Like sometimes nobody wants to stop because they are afraid of not reaching their supposed end goal. But how many times this pause that you do and you stop and think like you did, and in the examples that you shared, will help you reach your destination even faster, because you will have the right design and path that you can draw for it, right? Do you agree on this?
Yes, absolutely agree. Yeah, it's really tempting to reach goals and meet outside expectations. As I mentioned, they are really rewarding at a certain level. It's really tempting that finish a project and then to start another one. Let me give you an example. At one of my positions, my task was to increase the size of the team, and I had to hire a lot of guys. And that time, for that particular position, the lead time was half a year, 6 months generally. And that was so successful because of I was able to involve a lot of really great guys to reduce that lead time to 3 months. and it was really successful. I could hire guys, and the team size increased, and it was so great and so cool to experience that. But as the team grew, I didn't feel that this is what I really want. And there are so many levels of that. The first level is it really good for the company to hire that many guys? That was the task, so do I need to think about that or not? Or that was the task I need to accomplish, and that's it, I don't need to worry about that? Probably. And then, is this task or duty really serves my goals at my company or not? Would I be a better manager or leader, leading more guys? What does it mean, really? And the next level is it serves my personal goals or not? And those were the questions around that story, that what I'm doing, really. And I learned a lot about myself, actually, from that example. Like, I really like to help guys, help people. This is who I am, and this is what I had to learn, that it's pretty important to me. So I started to change my thinking, whether it's good for the guys I hired or not. And this is what I try to experience a little bit, and ask them and be aware whether the position I'm offering is really good for them or not. And it was really great to see them growing. So I hired them, and they were able to get a nice salary, then they were able to buy a house or car and get married and stuff like that. So it was really great to see. So that was my award, basically. But on my personal side, I didn't really feel that it's okay. It's my interest. So that was one of the examples I used to change my mind and find out what I really want to do. And this is, I used that, I came to another conclusion with that. The conclusion was that how important my personal values in the process to find out how I want to manage my time. So I had to realize that it's probably, that's the deepest so far for me, my values, my personal values. And if I'm aware of my personal values, then I'm able to find out what are my real goals in life based on my personal values. And if I know what my goals are, then probably I will be able to find the right strategy around time. And then probably I will be able to find the right tools and techniques to manage my time. So that was the process I concluded from my experience.
How did that make you feel afterwards? Like when you realized how important are your values in deciding on what you do? What happened to your inner feelings?
It's gradually changed, obviously, in a real positive way. And I'm still in the process, so I'm not finished. Probably now I understand that. Okay, probably this is the right path. Probably this is the right path, but I still have some doubts, and I'm not finished, obviously. So I'm still walking on that path, but I realized the really good signs. Basically, it looks like probably I a little bit can live my life in a more calmer way, so I'm not that excited in a negative way, and I can calm down and take my time. And one particular example, I had a dream in my childhood when I was a kid to become a pilot. And during my life, it was really not really available to me, because I thought it's pretty expensive, and I cannot be. It's just a dream. And after a while, some more fears added to that, like I don't have the time, and probably it doesn't serve my family and anyone if I try to work on that. But lately I realized that probably that's the right time. Why not? And there was one more fear. Probably I'm too old to do that. And walking the path, at some point I realized that probably I need to try that. Actually, I got some help from outside also, because I have a friend who was a pilot, and he shared a couple of stories around that, and he actually invited me to a flying club. And I went there. I had some doubts around that, how it works, and probably it's pretty expensive, and it takes a lot of time to do that. From some perspective, it's true. It can be expensive, but not necessarily. But it takes time, obviously, to do that. But I was able to do that.
So I was saying it's interesting to see that the moment when you realize that your values are the most important thing, and that you want to, whatever you want to do, they will be your North Star somehow. The picture also changed, that even you found time for an old child dream that you thought cannot become true. And that brings us again to the basic of what we are trying to say, that time is not is not the issue. Like, the issue is how we invest and how we reflect and how we utilize this super precious and unique asset in a different way than how the trend is today. Your dream was to drive a plane. My dream was just to drive a bike. And I thought, I'm 50 years old, like, could I do it? It was like an eye-opener that, oh my God, I should have done this long time ago. How did I lose all these years thinking that I don't have time to learn, or I cannot learn? It was a very unique moment in my life. A moment, like these seconds where I'm sure where you could lift the plane, or these seconds where I could, like, just drive the bike. They are seconds, but properly utilized.
Yeah. Yeah. There is one more trap I wanted to discuss, or probably it's a phenomena. I met a lot of guys, actually, and they say something like they don't have time, they don't have enough time, and they try to accomplish a lot because they have a kind of feeling, and probably this is what common in those guys, that they will miss something. If they don't do this or that, they're missing the sense of life, or what. Have you experienced that? Do you have any idea around that?
The phobia, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's a very common phobia of missing things. Like, everyone wants to be in everything, and I'm glad that you're referring to this trap. And maybe meetings is one example. How many times we attend meetings and we multitask during the meeting, and we exit, and there is no benefit whatsoever for us in it. Or how many times we do something and then we regret it. It is a trap, as you said, because we don't want to miss on things, and it is a psychological trap. Like, we want to be in control. I learned this in one of my psychology classes. So we want to be in control of things and not to miss, and because we don't want to miss, we do many things that we don't need to do. So it is very common, and unfortunately, like, very negative thing to do. We should not be in this fear of missing out. We should let things go. Maybe you can also reflect on how you do with your children. Like, how many times we are so much driven by the fact that, no, I need to see how they are studying, or how they are doing the homework, and it's not a good thing to do. A good thing to do is to teach them how to be more autonomous while they are studying, and let go this fear of missing out what they are doing and being worried and trapped in it. It is a very negative way of investing time again.
What would you recommend to anyone to able to ask the right question for themselves, to be able to find out whether they are in that trap or not?
Yes, do I really need to get myself in this? What's in it for me? How will this add value to me? Why I like the why is the most important. Why do I need to be here or to do that? Because the why is the purpose that we are missing on many times. These types of questions: why, what's in it for me? Do I really need to be there? What's driving me to be there? What could I do differently?
Yeah, those are really great questions, and this can be a really great start. Probably I'm coming from a really distance, but I also have an idea around that. What helped me actually. During my studies and during my work, professional life, I had to realize if someone is doing something in a professional way, most of the time they come to the same important questions and the same answers for those questions. No matter what you do, even if you're a painter or a athlete, a sportman or a businessman, eventually we will ask the same questions, like why I'm doing it, what's my purpose, what's important in life, do I need to believe in something or not, do I need to concentrate on myself or do I need to concentrate on others? And the answers are almost the same. So what I had to realize in my life, that if I do more, it doesn't mean that I don't miss that much. It's not related. So if I concentrate on something and I become a kind of expert of that, and I reach a certain level of expertise, it doesn't matter what I do. It will be important how much I do. I will not miss the main part of my life. So if I don't get one more university degree, or if I don't get another job, it doesn't matter from that perspective. I will get to the main point of what I really want to do. A simple example of that: if it's important to me to support my family, I can do it in many ways, and it's not the right way probably to work more. Is it really serves them? Probably not. So I not miss the main part. And it's the same with getting the pilot license. This is what I wanted. Could I get that particular feeling somewhere else? Probably yes, probably no. But as I spend my time and spend my efforts on that, I got it. And I don't need to go anywhere else to get it, because I can experience that every single weekend. Most of the time I can go to the flying club and get in a plane and fly. And probably it takes only a couple hours to get there, to fly and get home, and that's it. And I'm happy, and I'm there. So this is the other viewpoint I would recommend, to find out, as you said, that what is really important to you, what you are really trying to gain from your activities. And the kind of limiting belief here is that if you do more and you're involved in more activities, then you will get more. Probably not.
This morning, Peter, I watched a funny video on TikTok. I think, I don't remember, someone sent it to me, but that I relate to when you are telling this story. So it's about Christmas gifts for children, because now the tendency what to buy, and the video shows a mom giving her daughter, 2 years old, I guess, a wrapped gift. And she was so excited, the girl, opening the gift. And inside the gift, there was a rock. And she was so excited, a rock, a rock. And that's what you are saying. Like, it's not about the amount of what you do. It's about maybe sometimes just, hitting the essence. Like, anything wrapped for a child would be a great gift. It doesn't have to be a big doll or whatever. Like, it's a surprise element for this little baby who maybe likes rocks. It was free, like no price for that rock. But it's not about how much, it's about how qualitative, how well thought, how also coming from the heart, because we tend to forget about what our heart tell us. And if our heart is tell us this is what we will enjoy, that's then what we need to do. It's not ticking the boxes all the time because of all what is dictated on us.
Do you have any other topics probably we could talk around time management?
No, but I would like to talk about passion. That, again, you mentioned artists and many examples of great great people around us that just find their why and then things get better. And I think here there is that passion that we miss many times. So even like think of young children graduating from school, they start thinking of what the market needs. Like, nobody thinks of what their passion is. We do work, and many times we do it because what will be visible is mostly what attracts us. What will be appreciated is what we run after. But how many times we see ourselves or people around us just going after what they like, what they feel it will be something they would do from the bottom of their hearts, be passionate about. It's becoming more and more a rare thing. But I think despite the change in our universe, we still see that whenever there is passion and things done out of that heart place, it is really very rewarding and very inspiring to many people around us.
Yeah.
I think if everyone can invest time just thinking from that perspective, it would be way different. It's very complex the way we live our world today, and very rare are those who are able to stick to really that very strong gut feeling that they have and believe that, as you just said, it's not about doing more, it's about really doing the right thing and the thing that you can be expert in and you can like and you can excel in. So there is a lot of fear and limiting beliefs many times that sticking to our passion and what we like will not get us where we want. But if we look at evidence, maybe that could change our perspective of things. Because even money, like the definition of money is very broad. Like sometimes when we think it's for financial purposes, if you ask people what are their needs, they have basic needs. They don't need as much money as they think. So it brings us back to the right reflection and time to be mindful about what we do.
I was thinking of how this guilt of chasing passion relates to fear that someone is selfish because of that and not serving or not be generous enough.
Yes, it is many times true, especially in between parents and children, for example. Children are afraid to be selfishly following something they like, while their parents want them to do something else. Like your children are still young, but like mine are big, and yeah, I very thoughtfully did not want them to do something for me, but something they like. But it's not very common everywhere, many times, it is that guilt feeling. You know, I don't want to my parents, let's say, to be not happy with me, or at work, even like guilt feeling of not excelling or not being top performer or not being able to advance. So, but many people like to do a certain job and they are happy with it. They are just trying to do more because they feel guilty not doing more. The solution again, and we go back to the same point, and the more we give examples, the more it proves that what you are trying to say is right. The solution is to be connected to self and to make a shield to ourselves from all the outer pressures and influences, so that we drive ourselves by the right motive, by the right why, the right purpose, and something that not all the time we're trying to figure out because it is like this. So something more authentic to us.
Yeah, yeah. You also have another kind of perspective, and I'm really looking for your ideas around that. When I'm thinking of not to be selfish, but at the same time follow my ideas and desires, I probably was able to transfer it a little bit. Like if I get a little bit more from life, going after my desires, probably I have more to share. So probably it works another way around. Probably I don't need to worry too much about to be selfish because of, let's say, piloting, because I can share that experience. I can share how good I feel. Probably I will be able to concentrate on my kid a little bit more because I got that good feeling at the airfield. Or I can share it directly, like invite them to join me. Probably I can share the joy what I get from piloting. So this is how what I try to use to avoid to be afraid of to be selfish. I don't know how general it is, how others can use it, or how relevant it is at all. But this is what I try to use.
Yes, to inspire, in other words, like
Yeah.
yes, exactly, 100%. And many times it doesn't take a lecture to convince someone of many things. Many times ourselves, like we are simply inspired by someone who did the right thing and the right reflection, and we just follow. So many times it's leading by being an example for others. So, and you are a leader, and you know that many times you don't have to say to others what they need to do. You just need to be yourself, what you believe that they need to be, and it will follow by default, right? That's
Yeah.
the power of being a role model, and um, being by what your values say. So the moment you endorse these values and you really exhibit them as they are, doesn't take much that many others will follow if they believe in the same way, in the same values.
Yeah. Um, probably it's time to to come to the conclusion and find out what are recommendations or topics. So my question is, how would you summarize the topic we discussed today?
Maybe in very simple way, like time is the most precious asset that we have. When we say life, like life equals time, and it runs very quickly, and once you lose it, you cannot get it back. And not unlike money, you cannot multiply it. So as you said, you have a bank account, you can get interest on it. That's not the case with time. And the best way to utilize this asset properly is to mindfully utilize it. So doesn't work by continuing to do and do more and more and more. It doesn't serve anyone. Like, it really needs the awareness and consciousness to step back and do the right reflections and connect with the inner self, so that utilization of this asset becomes meaningful.
Yeah. What would you recommend a person who feels that, yeah, it's probably I can do that, but it would be great to get some help?
Yes, there are nowadays very great coaches. I myself, I got coaching so that I realized that there are many things I was missing out. So I think one step is to, give your hand and say, I need help, to someone that you trust could just drive these right reflections. So ask the right questions so that the person makes the right reflection. It's very simple but very powerful tool and technique that at least it helped me, and it's helping others around me. I see it. So that's it. Very simple.
Yeah, sounds really great. I also have a kind of conclusion, which is kind of similar, but probably a little bit different from a different angle, and it's something like probably it's a great start to try to find out values, try to find out goals, and then activities which serves the goals, and then find out techniques and stuff like that. And also if it's needed, if it sounds good, get some help. And there are so many ways to do that. The first, we mentioned that ask yourself. Probably that's the first one. And then you can discuss and ask help from parents, kids, and there are so many ways to do that. You can use a advisor, a mentor. So far, to me, the deepest way and to really get to the core is to use coaching techniques. Not necessarily with a coach. There are so many ways to find coaching techniques, and anyone can try. So it's nothing. There is nothing to be worried about that. To try it for yourself. You can find many techniques and tools which relates to coaching, and you can try it. There is basically nothing to lose. So my recommendation would be to start to think of that, as you mentioned also, and if it's needed, get some help. Why not? And if it resonates you, and if you feel that it's okay, probably you can start to think about the process we mentioned, that find out values, find out your personal intentions, and then try to find out how to want to manage your time.
100%. I agree.
Thank you very much, Roula. It was a really great talk. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching the time management episode. Please give feedback in any way you like. Also share your topic idea, what you like to hear about from coaching perspective. Please use the comment section. And in the description, you will find contact details to me if you would like to find out what benefits you can get from my coaching practice. Thank you.